That's almost as bad as fucking Nikki Haley, not knowing fucking what caused slavery.
Why'd that Civil War? What was that Civil War all about again, anyway? Well, rights and
I,
government and wanting to not have certain rights and say it.
jeez. You know what?
Uh,
I guess she's kind of creeping up in New Hampshire, right?
well, you can always how much ink the other candidates are giving someone is always the indication of where polling is. So yeah,
Yeah,
because DeSantis jumped on the make fun of Nikki Haley bandwagon, so
yeah.
she's getting close
She,
to closing the
I
gap.
tell you, when she didn't address that, she went from presidential candidate to, oh, I can see why South Carolina was the last state to
Take
drop
the
the,
flag.
Confederate flag out of their state flag in 2010. Like, wow. Go, sweetheart, do me a favor. Go in the kitchen, make some mint juleps with the rest of the ladies. We're going to sit out here and smoke cigars and talk SEC football.
Lisa Wolf's on the phone. She wants you to be part of the housewives
Yeah,
committee
yeah,
planning the
exactly.
fucking
Like, wow, you
picnic.
like you lost all credibility. And then she went on to say that there was no place for government or you know in your church, religion, or but God, whatever you do, don't think that I'm not going to be involved in every woman's health situation possible, including the poor woman that had a miscarriage in the toilet and flushed it. Now they're trying to put her in prison.
Mm.
What a fucking what a bunch of uh
Did you see Chris Christie's latest commercial?
yeah.
It he's just sitting there and he goes, "Every other candidate is afraid to say Donald Trump's a fucking liar. They all say it to me privately, but I'm the only one with the sack to say it on camera." I thought that was a pretty good, straightforward. We didn't have to do a lot of bullshit. We didn't have to mask a lot of stuff. He sat there and he said, "I'm just the one that has the sack to say it to you on TV." Thought that was
I
an
saw I
interesting.
saw a funny thing the other day. It was on Instagram. It was this guy who was sitting there and it was some steakhouse. It was like 89 that he was at this steakhouse in New York and he said that Trump walked in. And he said all of a sudden, man, there's this just putrid odor. And they sit Trump down and there's like two couples that they sit him down. And I mean, they don't say anything, but the other two couples within 5 minutes both are like, come over here, please. And they went over to Trump's table, and I guess he just fucking was reeking of shit.
This is
And
my
and they
wife showed me a meme today
and they
about this.
fucking they and he says because the guy was like at the beginning he said I would never if this was today and he's 77 years old I would never make fun of an elderly person that had some kind of a problem.
Incontinence issue, yeah.
Right. He says, but this motherfucker's been shitting on us since for 40 fucking years. And then they showed this other clip where he walks in or walks by different people like the Pope and the Pope like
This is the clip I saw. This
yeah,
is the
it's
and they strung together like a bunch of situations where people
they just like
recoil, physically
one of
recoil.
them's like finds the lady from San Francisco that just the old she's I think she Feinstein or Feins whatever her name
Diane
is.
Feinstein,
Yeah, she
the
she's
reporter.
she's
Yeah.
sitting she's sitting to the left, and she catches a whiff, man, and boy, she about it's like when you're sitting in first class or I think you sit anywhere on the planet. I guess the farts aren't just up in first class, but when somebody rips one, and you see like 8 people go to the air immediately.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
this.
here's is this some of the
Thank you.
I don't know if this is the. Is that him going to the gym? That's Netanyahu wondering if he should have been. This is a different one than I saw.
Yeah,
but-
this is not the shit. This is
yeah,
not
no. Look for this one on I don't know, TikTok or Instagram or something. But this is just him being confused and I guess having to go to the bathroom all the time.
Yeah.
But there's one where people are visibly recoiling from it. And
Well,
listen,
you know, there was
there's
like,
maybe equal footage of Biden doing the same thing. I'm sure that he's on. So
There's
much
a,
Metamucil, he shit's wicker. I think.
there's a guy that was like telling like a tell-all type thing, and he was one of the people that dressed Trump for The Apprentice, and I guess like Ivanka was that was on the show with him, and she'd be like, "Dad, like fucking uncle," and they'd have to dress him, and these guys would fucking have to take him in, and fucking he'd shit all over himself, and they'd have to clean him up and get him ready to get back to The Apprentice. And
That's such a weird.
and so you talking about non-disclosures. I mean, there must have been NDAs on it if you were on The Apprentice.
Kindly do not discuss any odors.
Yeah, you cannot discuss any nor make any shit jokes.
I sitting next to people in your business for years and on camera, sometimes for 2-3 hours, and then they would rise first often after the show, and so I'm right at. I mean, and there's that hole between the seat and ass as they stood. That whole air, if that got blown towards, I mean, a Vader could knock you right off your chair if you are at eye level with his ass when he stood.
If you could start a war by dropping his ring gear into a country.
Yeah. Volkov was interesting too. Volkov had an interesting diet. So there was some interesting. I never interviewed him for a show, but I was at a wedding. I was sitting next to him at a wedding, and
it's like falling asleep. It's like falling asleep when you were younger, and you had to take a Trailways or a Greyhound, and you fucking decided when you woke up and your head was on the seat next to you, on the bottom, on that fucking fart cushion.
Chair. If you are at eye level with his ass when he stood.
If you could start a war by dropping his ring gear into a country.
Yeah. Volkov was interesting too. Volkov had an interesting diet. So there was some interesting. I never interviewed him for a show, but I was at a wedding. I was sitting next to him at a wedding, and
it's like falling asleep. It's like falling asleep when you were younger, and you had to take a Trailways or a Greyhound, and you fucking decided when you woke up and your head was on the seat next to you, on the bottom, on that fucking fart cushion.